Adwa, thanks so much for this. Increased service has gone into effect today on more than 30 TTC bus routes in the city.
And right now we're joined live by TTC Chair and Toronto City Councillor for Ward 23, Scarborough North, Jamaal Meyers. Jamaal, thanks a lot for joining us. So this is the first day of school. A lot of people are getting back into routine. How was today? What's the verdict?
I think today was good. I didn't get any emails, no angry letters. Okay. It seems like the service is running well, so we're very, very pleased about that.
And you are adding routes, you're increasing service to accommodate all of the kids going back to school and people going back to work as well. Tell us more about that.
So we are increasing service on the 133 Nielsen, which I'm happy to say is in my ward, Ward 23 residents, and so that affects about 10,000 people because we've been having some overcrowding on that. So that'll help the students going to University of Toronto Scarborough as well as the students going to Centennial. We'll also be increasing service on the 512 streetcars, so that will go in the weekdays from once every 8 minutes to once every 6 minutes during the weekday rush hours. So that'll affect about 20,000 of our riders. So we're excited, and then we'll just be returning our regular service for the springtime that people saw during the spring. So we're excited. Like things are moving in the right direction.
Okay, so Jamaal, bear with me here. You know, there's been the issue of bunching. We're into a new school year. We can't use the same excuses for being late this year. Let's talk about tardiness and being on time. What is the promise for the TTC this year?
So as you know, we are in the middle of our bus bunching and vehicle bunching pilot. We're tired of seeing the vehicles arriving in packs. So we did some marginal changes and we saw some marginal improvements. What we're really doing is a deep dive and analysis to why the vehicles, streetcars, and buses are bunching, and we'll be reporting in the fall. So far, based on these new changes, we are starting to see like real improvements and real improvements in the service quality that we're offering to the customers.
When we talk about transit delays, I have to be honest, the first thing that pops into my head is the Eglinton Crosstown LRT. Yeah. You know, there was so much talk, Councillor, about, hey, we're looking at a possible September opening. Here we are, it's September 2nd. Yep. We're now being told that's probably not happening. First of all, what is the latest there?
So you're right, that's probably not happening. We still have to do a 30-day non-revenue service where we run the trains back to end to end without passengers for 30 days to sort of try out and test and see if we find any defects. So that's not happening. It won't be a September opening. In terms of what is happening, I understand they're still going through testing. Again, it's not a TTC project. This is really a Metrolinx project. TTC is the operator. We are working with them and supporting them as best we can. At the end of the day, this has to be delivered by Metrolinx and their contractor.
Councillor, I want you to be critical of the TTC here. What is your hope for the TTC to improve upon as we, look into the last quarter of this year?
So I definitely want us to get better at their overall customer experience. I want people, the way I explain to the staff, I don't want parents to have to think twice about their kids using the TTC. So that means safety, that means reliability, that means cleanliness, that means making sure our employees are ready, willing, and able to help with any customer complaints, making sure that if the kid opens their phone and they're going to be late, that we have proper Wi-Fi service working. So all of that customer experience of making sure it's a good experience that people want to come back.
There's another thing I want to talk to you about tonight, Councillor, and that is fare capping. It's something services, transit systems like Go Transit are already doing. First of all, explain to the average rider what that is and why the TTC is considering it.
So right now you can buy a monthly pass. So you buy the monthly pass and you can use it for that month. Fare capping would say after a certain number of rides, it's free. So it makes it easier for, especially for working people, that they don't have to put up that expense at the beginning of the month. They just use the transit service, and after a certain number of rides, it's free. So essentially what we've done is we've done a very baseline preliminary report, and we found that based on the number of rides you cap it, so the lower you cap it, it will increase the number of people using the system. So I think what we're trying to do now is, well, how many of those are actually new rides? So if I'm just using the system more, that's not actually providing new revenue to actually provide the service that's going to be required to accommodate these influx of passengers. So what we're going to be doing is sort of a deeper dive into what is actually going to be the consequences of capping the rides, and how much is that going to cost?
Okay. Is that something you support really quickly? Because so many say it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer, but we got to do it well. Okay. So if we have more people using the service, but now the buses are all crowded or the trains are all crowded, that's not really a great service. So it's a no-brainer in terms of, yeah, this is what we want to do, but we actually have to make sure that we're implementing it and doing it properly. So again, going back to that customer experience, it's a good ride.
Okay, TTC Chair and Toronto City Councillor Jamaal Meyers. Hey, thank you very
so
much.
Great to have you on the show tonight. We appreciate this.